Hello students, I hope you're all staying at home and are safe in the present scenario. In the next series of this, I'm going to begin with William Wordsworth's The Tintern Abbey. Now, as we all know, William Wordsworth was a poet of romantic age, and he was a poet of nature, a poet of love, a poet of common people who used common language which was easily understood and which was easily, he became quite popular with the common people as well. Now, we first begin with the biography of Wordsworth. William Wordsworth was born on 17th April in 1770, just outside the Lake District in the small town Cockermouth of Great Britain. He was a major romantic poet along with Samuel Taylor Coleridge, P.B. Shelley, Lord Byron, and Coleridge and Wordsworth, they jointly published and wrote few poems together in their volume titled Lyrical Ballads, which was published in 1798. We can say that this poem is very close to nature. Now, Wordsworth's father was frequently away on business, and it encouraged him to read Milton, Shakespeare, and Spenser because he used to bring back a few things. And after the death of his mother in 78, Wordsworth was sent to Hawkshead Grammar School in Lancashire, and Dorothy, his sister, along with his sister, they were sent together to live with relatives in Yorkshire. Now, the first publication was basically this collaborative work, Lyrical Ballads. In the preface to Lyrical Ballads, he introduces his theory of romantic poetry, in which he gives the definition of poetry as the spontaneous overflow of powerful feelings which take its origin from emotions recollected in tranquility. And this is supposedly to be the manifesto of English romantic criticism as well. Now, his most famous poem, Tintern, Abbey, was also published in this work along with Coleridge's The Rime of Ancient Mariner. To talk about the poem, this poem is about Tintern Abbey, is about one of the cottages, is again about the triumphs of romantic poetry and how he visualizes, how he adores the nature and how he celebrates nature in his life. Now, this is one of the subjective experiences of the poet. When I say subjective, I mean his personal experiences, and the poem as well shows the growth of his mind and how through different periods and different experiences with nature, how he develops this relationship with nature of friend, philosopher, and guide, and turns into a mature man. And Wordsworth, through this poem as well, has the realization of God, which is ever and omnipresent in nature. Now, in Tintern Abbey, he has impressed that he visited this place, and he comes again and again to this place where there are lofty cliffs. Lofty, bahut unchi, cliffs are hills, and then there are cottages around it, orchards, fruit orchards, groves and copses, and he's glad to see them, everything once again. The hedgerows, the supportive wood, pastoral farms, and this place is lonely. But the beauty of it is so attractive to him that he always longs to go back to this place. Now, this poem is divided into basically 5 sections. The first section establishes the setting of meditation. Meditation, self-introspection, loving, paying gratitude to God. And here he emphasizes the passage of time. He has come back to this place after 5 years, and he sees how the beauty of nature is now showing him or giving him a different message. The waterfalls, the natural cliffs, the hedges, everything is in harmony with nature. Nothing is moving against nature, but it is in close harmony. The second section again begins with his meditation, but by now he has realized that these beautiful forms, they have been deep-seated in his mind as well as his heart. And whenever he is tired, he's weary, they give him peace. They bring him calm, composure. Even when he's frustrated, the nature provides him solace. It gives him sympathy. And the nature, with open arms, with open eyes, embraces him, calms him, and prepares him further for the next journey. The third section contains a doubt. The poet is probably reflecting readers' possible doubts about that how can the nature be this way. So he joyfully, delightfully, unprofitably, he starts talking and giving you the benefits and the composures, the beauties of nature, that how they can, if you have an open mind and heart, how can they provide you, they can take you on the right path of living life and right path which leads to God, and how it can give you peace of mind in the stressful times. The fifth and the last section again continues with the same meditation, where the poet addresses his younger sister Dorothy, whom he blesses as well as advises about what he has learnt about nature. He says that he can hear his own voice, his youthful as well as mature voice in the nature. In his youthful, spirited period, he was also, supportive. He was naughty, and the nature directed him in a different way. Now, when he's mature, he has his own stresses. He has his own difficulties and pressures. The nature is again showing him the right path, but in a different way. So the poet expresses his honest and natural feelings about nature's superiority. The language is so simple of the poem and so lucid that one can never get tired of reading it again and again. And the sweetness of the style, it touches the heart of the reader as well. Now, when I'm talking about the characteristics of his poetry, I've written in this slide that the lines may be, long, but they are full and deep with meaning. Then the images will be vivid. Vivid means different, but they have direct images and descriptions. And obviously the verse is lyrical. As I've already told you a lot about Romanticism, again a quick review that earlier to Romanticism, there was neoclassical period, which was dry, which was dull, which was based on facts, and the poetry as well as all kinds of literature had to be written according to the classical rules. But in Romanticism, it was all changed. Romanticism stressed over emotions over reason, and it was the primacy, the supremacy of our own will, individual will over the social norms. And the poems are always written in first person, which is why they begin with I, and the development of self takes place in the romantic poetry. Next, we see that Wordsworth is a philosopher of nature. He again and again recommends, promotes, and tells each and everyone that nature is a friend, philosopher, and guide. We must have the eyes and heart to see and feel. He believed that God was revealed to man through nature, because nature was manifestation of God's creation. And Wordsworth's best poetry is lofty. Lofty is high and sublime expression of the divine. Solace is comfort, which he has found in nature. I have already explained it to you in the poem. He believed that the soul was given directions by nature, and it transcends both and becomes assimilated one with the divine totality. So talking about the very important book, Lyrical Ballads, in which Coleridge has joined him with his most famous poem, The Rime of the Ancient Mariner. He has become, and this book has become a preamble, a manifesto for the Romantic poetry and Romanticism. The common things were now more brought to the forefront, the common language, the common people, their themes, the language which was understood by them. Now, this is a very simple, heart-touching, close-to-nature poem. I hope I've done justice to it. Now, thank you so much. And if you have any doubts and comments, please leave them in the comment section. And I'll get back to you with more of these videos very soon. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.